Good afternoon, and welcome back to the Landman Podcast. I'm your host, Moshe Landman, attorney, business owner, and Green Party candidate here in Maryland. Today, the topic is the grand illusion. And what we're talking about is, you will see shortly. Whether I'm looking at a contract or a campaign platform, I ask one question, and you should be asking this question as well. Is this person building something, or are they just running a game? Today, we need to talk about the grand illusion, from stiffing blue-collar workers to using the presidency to peddle meme coins. Donald Trump's career is not a success story. You heard that here. Is not. It's a clinical case study in the art of the con. As a lawyer, I see the fraud. As a business owner, Maryland Metal, real money, precious metals, I see the exploitation. And of course, we all know that at the end of the day, those who don't build properly will lose it all. And that's the case with Trump. You're going to see shortly what happens to him. Section 2, the economic mirage, tariffs as a tax on you. Trump loves to talk about tariffs as if they're a magic wand that makes other countries pay us. But as someone who understands supply chains and business overhead, I can tell you the truth. A tariff is a tax on the American consumer. The reality, when we slap tariffs on imported goods, the foreign country doesn't write us a check. The importer pays the tax, and they pass that cost directly on to you. The impact. We've seen this play out. It drives up the cost of everything from construction materials to groceries. For a small business owner in Maryland, these aren't tough trade deals. They are unpredictable cost spikes that kill jobs and fuel inflation. It's an economic shell game where the working class holds the bag. Section 3, the business history, the short play scheme. We have to look at the history. Long before he was in the White House, Trump was famous in New York and Atlantic City for the short pay. He'd hire a family-owned company to do the tiling or the plumbing. As you know, he did construction, real estate. When the job was done, he'd simply refuse to pay the full bill, knowing the small contractor couldn't afford to fight him in court for years. Of course, lawyers are too expensive. That's why in Landman Law, we charge a lot less. We focus on each client and where they are. As a business owner and lawyer, I find this repugnant. This isn't negotiating. It's theft by legal attrition. He didn't build an empire. He extracted it from the pockets of hardworking people. Section 4, the crypto con, Trump coins, and rug pulls. Now, he's found a new frontier, cryptocurrency. Recently, we've seen the launch of Trump coins and various meme coins, which have lost at least half their value since they came out. The Grift, these are often classic pump and dump environments because there's no intrinsic value to cryptocurrency. It's just software. He uses his massive platform to hype a coin with no inherent value, watches the price skyrocket as his supporters buy in, and then, well, we know how this ends. Well, to be honest, I don't think Trump really understands the crypto. He just wanted to have his own, his sons and others wanted to have the cryptocurrency coins, so he got into it and he saw how much the money came in. But we don't know if he fully understands how it works. The ethics. As a public servant, your job is to protect the financial security of your constituents. Using your office to hawk speculative digital tokens to your own base isn't just unethical, it's a betrayal of the public trust. It's the Trump University playbook, just updated for the blockchain, which was a fraud, the Trump University. I mean, he does have some brands, Trump brand for real estate that are legitimate, but a lot of what he does, even especially now as president, you're not supposed to, have other businesses going on, and the family's business is questionable. Section 5, the personal pattern, bullying and harassment. Beyond the balance sheets, there is the human costs. As an attorney, I believe in the dignity of every individual under the law. Trump's history of harassment and bullying, particularly of women, as we know of all these cases, isn't just a character flaw. From the numerous credible allegations of sexual misconduct to the scorched earth legal tactics used to silence his accusers, including the Jeffrey Epstein case, minors, he uses power to intimidate those he deems lesser. Well, he's been able to use power because of his position in the White House. So he's using our legal system in a manipulative way, and it's very shameful that no one is stopping him. And that's the problem with the American law right now. We need more stronger attorneys and judges. A man who bullies the vulnerable is not a strong man for the people. He is a man who fears accountability. If he treats the women in his life and workplace with such disregard, why would he treat the American public any differently? Section 6, the legal breach, January 6th, and accountability. Finally, we have to address January 6th. I don't know if you know this, but I had an Airbnb in my home, and two of the people that came were at the rally, but they weren't part of the revolt. They were just at the rally. To a lawyer, this was the ultimate breach of the social contract. When you lose a fair election, affirmed by dozens of courts and your own Department of Justice, and you still incite a crowd to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power, you are not a patriot. You are a litigant who refuses to accept the verdict, kind of like a child. He sold his supporters a lie about a stolen election, and while he sits in a boardroom, they are the ones facing the legal consequences. The green vision, a different path. As a green candidate, I'm here because I believe we don't have to choose between a con and a status quo. We want an economy based on real values, not tariff-driven inflation or crypto scams. We want a legal system that holds billionaires accountable, not one they can use to bully the working class. And right now we have a president who's focused on his whole system is to help the wealthy. Well, those are his friends in Mar-a-Lago. But what we really need is to tax the rich, because our country is 60% of Americans can't afford, are living month to month. There's a huge wealth disparity. The wealth gap, you can look at my website, moshelandman.us, to see what happened. This is over the last 30 years. 1%, 30 to 10% are owning most of our wealth. And it's very dangerous for everyone involved, including the wealthy. If they don't start paying their fair share, they're going to be the ones who lose the most because they have the most invested. We want leadership that pays its bills and respects its people. We need to cut our debt, get this country back on a path to fiscal sanity and responsibility. And otherwise, we are going to see some major depressions, major economic crises that I predict will happen soon. Stay tuned. I'm Moshe Landman. Let's stop being the marks in someone else's game and start building a Maryland and a country that actually works for us. Thank you for joining the podcast today. Like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Thanks for your time.